this chair.
I know, I'm a wibbly one as well.
Primary free chair.
Hilary, Mack.
Hello.
I was just asking her why her surname's no Sekhon because he's unmarried.
Well, we are
Legally.
married. We are legally married for a passport.
Basically, I said to him, I'll happily change my name if you help me change my bank certificates, my job title, my driving, and he's like, oh yeah, I can't be arsed, and neither of us. Yeah, so plus I'm Hilary Mack, the Muay Thai fighter, haven't I? So
who's Hilary Sekhon?
Yeah, no one knows. Even Aidan actually was fighting first time on MTB, and they wrote his name as Aidan Mack because
Aidan Mack.
No idea who he is, so it's just the more famous one.
Two-time world champion as well, fellow world champion.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the day.
When was your first one?
Good. I don't know the answer to either of those questions.
No, the last one was 2011.
Was it?
Yes, because that was last time.
Last time
as well.
Altogether.
So I probably fought for like 15 years, so maybe whenever 15 years before that. Yeah, so it's been a while. Old now. When was your last one?
My last fight, I did an MMA fight in 2016 in Irvine, and the year before that I did 2015 MTB. 2015. And fought Daniel Jedrzejczyk and get beaten points when I get elbowed his tooth out into cellulitis. I know.
Funny.
I did.
Jason, when was your last?
I fought last year, the year before.
Did you?
So basically what happened was, I've done these charity challenges for the past 5 or 6 years, so every year I do a wee sort of, they've all been running.
You've just been to Everest Base Camp.
Aye.
That's right.
I've been trying to build them up, so it was like a kind of 5th year anniversary, like the charity that I do stuff for, so I did 5 challenges in 5 months, and the first one was supposed to be just a boxing bout, and I ended up getting asked to do a K1 fight, and I'd been away for Thai boxing, everything for like a good few years, and I was like, do you know what? I'll just take it. I'll do it. And I must have trained for about 6 weeks maximum. And about
week ultra running because his other challenge was also ultra running. So it's kind
like
of
Nico,
chalk and cheese. Thai boxing is like 100 mile an hour. Ultra runnings keep going.
You go for miles and miles.
The week before his fight, he's away up over the Arran, running up doing both cell twice.
I did.
No, Matt. What are you doing?
I did.
And how did you go?
Terrible. I didn't get bad.
Did you enjoy it?
Do you know what I didn't enjoy? I didn't enjoy thinking that I could still. I was no disrespect, but I thought I was going to get in and smash this boy, and I was just so slow. He was punching me, and my hands were down here, and and I remember I went back to the corner, and it was John Loach was in my corner. He's like, "Why do you keep laughing?" I said, "I'll probably cry if I didn't." I'm just laughing because every time it was a punch, my head's just.
You're like, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing?
It's funny.
So that was me. I've just turned 40, and I thought, what am I doing?
We need to have a veterans league, don't we?
Because my last one before that was like 2015 probably. So it was
a big break.
It was a long while before that.
When was your last one?
We both stopped 2011. My last one was actually. It was a 4-man tourney in Newcastle, but I ended up just getting the reserve fight against the Spanish boy, luckily, because it was Darren O'Connor and all that in the 4-man tourney. I was glad I wasn't part of it.
In Newcastle?
It was in Newcastle. Was it Craig Josie's
show? Barry
Norman's.
Stevie Brown into that, or was Keith?
No, it was me.
Because they were the same weight, man, Keith and Darren.
Yeah, Darren and all that, you were the same weight, but it was the most Spanish of Spanish names, Jose Angel Munoz Jr.
Oh,
and he and I just ended up with like the reserve fight or whatever. But I can't remember. It was Darren Connor ended up winning it. I can't remember who else was in it actually. But Mikey Wiseman was fighting on the show as well. And he was fighting.
Yeah, who did Mikey fight? He had a
fought
good
someone really good, and they were brothers. From that way.
Blonde guy?
Blonde.
His dad trained him as well, didn't he?
Oh, Paul Morris or that? No?
No, it's something Woodham or something like that.
No, it's not. It wasn't Woodham.
Probably don't do that.
But Nico Wiseman did that tough.
Your Spanish guy just kept, every time he got in the clinch, he just kept like falling to the ground, like just kind of.
It was quite funny because it was Darren Phillips was ref.
But was it not Tony Myers who refed it? I'm sure it was.
I remember it was 20 Myers.
Because we went back here again.
I'll be
I
right.
think you're right, actually. It was 20 Myers and he kept... No, it was Darren. It was Darren because he was laughing at me because his only way out of the clinch was just to fall to the floor.
Aye.
He was just like...
Get up.
Get back
Yeah,
up.
back
Right.
up. And that's where... I think that's where Doogie coined my nickname as well.
Which was...
Sweet Chili Dip.
I was like, which one? What's he going to
Sweet
talk
Chili
about?
Dip.
Just covered in it.
So is that where that came from?
That's
Was
where
it?
that came from. Doogie announced me in the ring as Sweet Chili Dip.
Doogie
sign
Clark?
once. Doogie McAdam.
Doogie McAdam, sorry,
Big
aye.
Doogie, yeah.
Aye, big Doogie teeth.
Big
Fireplaces now.
Doogie fireplace.
Back to the fireplaces.
Does he not do any ring announcing anymore?
No,
Uh-huh.
passed it on to Santino.
Santino.
Aye.
I remember I got him doing it at the Citadel for Mayhem,
That's right.
and he was like proper nervous because Chris Shaw was fighting, and there was a good crowd there, and Doogie was like, I think this is the biggest crowd I've ever done. I'm like, fine mate, don't worry about that.
Aye.
Against Ollie Watson for Minotaur's gym down in London.
Well, that was a while
But we couldn't
ago.
get Chris matched. This was 2008.
Aye,
No, was it? Oh, it was ages ago. It was when the Contender was out, and then they were doing the
Aye.
Contender 2 because Chris was in the Contender 2 tournament down in London, Watford or somewhere.
Aye.
And then I got Ollie to fight Chris, but again it was like 78 kilo, no Chris's weight. But
No,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just
like,
take it above.
Contender was
Aye.
70, wasn't
aye,
it?
70.
Aye.
We got a draw,
Nice.
but aye.
Mm.
I know
And what,
Doogie-
is Chris fighting again then?
Don't know. Well, I seen that some chai thing shared that thing. I just one minute.
Yeah,
And he did reply.
Because
He did reply
Because
to
the
me.
last time I spoke to him, he was like, I can't decide yet. I thought,
Aye.
Well, I shared that, and then he just replied to me on Instagram saying maybe, haha. It's like,
You never know.
Maybe haha is good
Maybe
enough.
haha is-
Aye.
Yes, yes,
Not
yes.
enough.
Certainly not, no, aye.
He'll be asking me if I've got a main event for October next.
Yeah.
It just means save it and then get back on it
I
again.
know. Aye, definitely.
I know, because we were going to try and get the rematch with Charlie, weren't we, on Oran More?
Aye.
Or that-
But
Having
we
Malcolm
got the
would be a good
rematch
fight.
with Malcolm instead.
Aye.
That'll be interesting. Actually.
I don't think I've seen the first fight.
It was a bit of
It was
a...
close, but
yeah.
I don't think it was the. I mean, not because Charlie's my
biased,
pal
aye.
and all that biased or not, but not. I wasn't there.
I think Charlie won
Was
it
this
watching
on
it
Power
back. but-
Scotland or
Was it?
Hanneman?
It was on Hanneman.
Hanneman.
Sure,
Anyway, it was a good fight, so it'll be good to have it again
Mm-hmm.
and see how it goes.
What are the rate class fights you've
Diplomat
got?
there.
We've got,
No.
yeah, no, you never know who's
This is
listening. Someone might actually listen to this.
Hey, we'll get like fun on it, something.
No,
No,
Oh,
yeah, no one's going to listen to us.
Music
We
has to go to the
have
dots.
Charlie and Malcolm. We've got 2 WBC world titles, Yara Sala and Hannah Brady. So Hannah's defending her 57 kilo title, and then we've got Rona Walker fighting Johanna from Sweden, Persson, who's a really good fighter.
And
So
she
that
was,
should be a brilliant fight.
Gary from Fight Record had put her forward as like female fight of the year and all that. 'Cause
Aye.
she went 6 fights, 6 wins, 6 by stoppage. I think.
Last
shit.
year,
I like that.
Aye.
Or yeah, she won them all anyway. I don't know if she stopped
I don't know
all,
if
but
she. Oh yeah, but she was.
I just battered them.
aye.
Mhm.
And obviously Rona's on a tear as well, so the two of them are delighted to both have buns in their pictures, both like
Rest in
yeah,
peace.
ready to go, and then
Before
and
man.
obviously Hannah and Yara can bang as well, so they're proper like both solid fighters that really good strength and technique. So I think it'd be nice for people to see, like that fight you were talking about in One Championship yesterday, that women
Aye.
can fight.
Aye, that was good.
Yeah.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Aye.
And the British titles ladies as well. That's Danielle Ellis and Colette Wada from
Oh, Colette.
Hanneman
Colette's
now.
good to
Yep.
watch, man. She's
Um,
next
Aye,
to-
she just
you know,
moved.
That's how she's
Yep,
just
yeah.
moved,
I think they moved house, didn't they? Because Adam's there as well.
Aye.
The 4-man, yeah, Omar.
Which is not a 4-man, it's just
8-man.
I know,
the,
I
the
know,
first
I know.
half. The
They
first
get
half
first
of the
half.
8-man.
First
So
half.
yeah, so they
it's
just
not
get.
a 4-man on the day.
No, they
It's
just
a
get
fight.
one
No, it's just a
fight, yeah.
aye.
And so the 2 people who win that will then go to the final on
4-man.
the Hungry Side
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
and they'll have
Aye,
2
that'll
fights.
take to a
They'll
4-man.
have
Kinda
2
doing
fights
it-
that
doing
night.
it like groups, so we've got like the first stage, and then is it the
Proper
I usually
fights,
get the
yeah.
first 2
Yeah,
quarter finals.
Yeah.
and then
Then the next 2
the next
quarter
We'll
finals.
be on the
Proper
camera
fight.
show the
Aye,
proper
aye.
face here.
Yeah.
Proper fights, and then the
Yes,
semis
so we
and
got
finals.
Omar, Jamie Gillis, Ossie and Dixon and Caden
Caden.
Connolly are the don't know
They draw it on
who's
the
yeah.
day. Might rig it.
I don't even know how you would rig it though, because I like
They're
all good fights.
They're all good fights.
Yeah, and that weight class just now is amazing.
All
So
full tie.
all full tie on that day, and then I think it's all full tie on in September as well. I think they're doing 3 threes.
I was going to say that, is it 3
and 3 threes and 5 threes, but full tie rules the whole way. Yeah. And the good thing about doing the sort of quarterfinals over 2 different events is that there's options for wild cards, and if people pull out or get injured or whatever, then you can get back in and back into the tournament.
It's like the K1 Grand Prix used to do.
The 16 man over the year, over the course of the year.
And Victory, they thought about doing it the way Victory did it, with like different points over different shows and stuff, but I think they decided just to go for this kind of quarter-final, then 2 fights.
That's a good idea. I like that format.
And even the people who don't win at Oran More in proper fights, they can still be matched to fight on Hungry Side in just single fights as well.
Of course,
so it's such a busy weight category. I know it gives you gives them guaranteed fights, also gives Micho guaranteed fights as well, I guess. So it should be they'll all fight each other at some point. So it keeps all of that group of fighters busy for the year. So
We were speaking about it the other week about the Oran More show coming back, because it was away for a couple of years, wasn't it?
I think called COVID, Jason.
Listen, after that,
we don't mention this.
I know, come on, man.
I think
this is a positive podcast.
Give us
basically, Guy is so busy with everything else that he just didn't want chucking axes, swording people, and Jamie's into his son's into ice hockey, so they're kind of he's still really involved in the gym, but just didn't have the time to take on all the matchmaking and the promoting, and so us and T from the Grip House are kind of just doing it on behalf of the Grip House, I guess. So it's
because we've not really got much else to do.
No. I know, so then I take on WBC amateur as well as WBC professional, and I don't know how I have time to fit in a teaching job and 2 children as well. But
you still a full-time teacher?
Part-time teacher now, part-time teacher, part-ime coach. And no, I'm still a proper teacher. I'd rather be a subby. No, I'm still a teacher at the beginning of the week, coach at the end of the week, and then promoter, matchmaker, official, whatever the rest of it. If Stevie ever lets me, because he won't let me judge these days, because he's like, you're already getting money from WBC.
With the IBMTO, because I know Kyle's fight at the last Camera Show Proper Fights ended in a draw, and then it was like... Yeah,
he's a notorious draw.
I know, he loves a draw.
He loves a draw.
Kyle?
He's over that.
He's over that.
He did. He's over it. He got over it.
Because then they were trying to try and figure out a winner, but because of the WBC
the way the WBC works, you can't just overturn it, and there's no head judge that can just decide you're doing a 6th round or you're overturning it or whatever. So the only way.
I think there was at that point though. I think there was a confusion with the away team. They were like, no, but there has to be a winner because the title doesn't have.
No, you can still draw.
You can draw it.
And that's the same in Thailand as well. People think that it's not, but it can be a draw in Thailand as well, in the stadiums. So it's just one of those things. You just don't leave it to us judges.
Exactly.
In a tournament, you can fight a 4th round. Because it happened to Chris doing that contender thing. I mean, Dan Henderson, I think, went to a 4th round, and then Dan won, but then Dan pulled out because the big hematoma in his head, and then there was trying to talk Chris back into going to fight Jordan Watson in the final.
Oh God!
Done in. No, come on, you can do it. No, but it did go on.
He did fight him.
He did fight him, but rather than Jordan just winning by default.
He wanted to give him
a couple of hard shots and that. But no, that was years ago. 2008 or 9.
A long time ago.
So old.
And Jordan was peak as well. Peak Jordan
just
at the time.
Just after that, he fought on the contender thing plus Pacquiao.
Plus Pacquiao stuff. Peak Pacquiao as well at the time.
I remember that. No teeth. That's what happens. You don't wear a gum shield.
And now Jordan's glass eye, is he not, and so on? He's or he can't see very well. And we were out training with him at Evolution and in Samui during the summer, so he's coaching, and living
He's
and
living
loving
the
life
dream.
out there
He's
now,
living-
Jordan
Living the
Watson.
dream
So.
over there.
Yeah, so it's good.
So the WBC fights on Pure Muay Thai representing me and
I know,
Paul,
aye, we've got our t-shirts on the deck.
the weights and all that. So WBC do weight checks.
They do. So it's
You
they've
think that's a good thing?
become a little bit less strict with it now. So they're kind
Right.
of like you don't have to do like 30 day,
days.
14 day, 7 day. They're kind of leaving it a little bit more down to just kind of
Discretion.
supervisors and coming up like we did with a kind of plan of just checking in and making sure that they're on weight.
It's
But
not good for, especially if people are cutting weight
Cutting
to
weight,
make
yeah.
a weight
Yeah.
check. Weight.
yeah.
Balloon
back
back
on,
up,
yeah.
and then
I know, so I
do
think-
essentially 3 weight cuts.
I
in
think
fight.
the purpose of it is to try and stop that, but actually
Massive
sometimes
weight
it
cutting.
makes people just wake up more. So I guess that's down to people choosing the right weight class.
And managing
yeah.
it.
This is
Yeah.
This is so against the weight cuts. Like the big weight
big-
cuts.
I was watching
Watching Stevie Nico do that for years, and you're having to had to do that for years as well, especially as you progress through your career. You had to go down. You would have naturally been a 55 kilo fighter,
Yeah.
but the big fights were all at 52.
Yeah. So for me, there was less option though, but
Yeah.
I think some people do it even when there are.
Aye, options
Options,
at a
but
different weight.
Yeah.
For me, it was just that was where all the
Fights,
best fighters were fighting. So I just if I didn't make that weight, then I wouldn't have had the opportunities as many
opportunities.
fights. So I would have probably rather not
Yeah.
weight cut as much as that, but I had to. But I think a lot of people choose to do it.
I think it gives you an advantage.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
like-
and they don't realise that
they don't realise that
It's actually
also,
draining
it's
you, aye,
also
and it's
disadvantage.
got
Yeah,
a negative
So I've done bad weight cuts and you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's horrible.
Remember we were talking about that the other night? I was saying, I can't remember what when you say it, do you remember the fight? 'Cause I thought
it was
you
just
lost.
John Craig's show in Clydebank, so it wasn't like a big show, it was just but he brung a Dutch guy over, and I didn't know who he was, but he was good.
Aye.
Lindo Profas or something his name was, and then I was just not really being diligent with training, just like fucking do this, no bother. You get a bit
Aye.
lackadaisical, and I was 83 kilo the Wednesday, and I weighed in on the Saturday at 74,
Jesus.
double vision.
Aye.
Just
I remember you
dehydrated.
losing loads.
When in the house, my wife was getting off her head at me because I was on all 4 knees, my toddler's running about. She's like, "The kids don't need to see you like this," and I was like, and then oh, it was that. It was like
Yeah.
really
It's
close.
hard.
Like
Aye.
you could have died kind of stuff,
Aye.
but you're just in your
But the-
brain.
Also at that time as well, it was the dark ages.
Aye, I was 20. 2009 that was.
Aye.
So it was just
Whereas
Yeah,
even now, some of our fighters who've only had a few fights have got like nutritionists and stuff like that. Like it's so much more available now. So you can, it's getting the right balance, isn't it? Between you don't want to fight above your weight, you
No,
still
you
maybe
just
want to
smash
cut a
it,
bit,
you
but you
Yeah.
you want to do it sensibly
It's
and
the
nutrition
right way
and
though,
proper
innit?
weight cutting
It's
and
also
stuff.
if you want to have a longer career.
A long
out of
career,
it,
aye.
like you can't be drastic weight cuts and expect to still be
Doing that 3
fighting
times a year,
15
4 times a year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even just taking shots.
yeah. That's what I found with the
Yeah.
Daniel fight.
Yeah.
Because I was at 71 kilo, and I hadn't been 71 kilo since like 2004 or something. And they did the one deal at 72, and then I was like, alright, cool, I just want to fight.
Yeah,
So it's
just
like,
try.
no eating all day to
Yeah.
waste muscle, just sprints,
Yeah.
train,
Yeah.
and then wall load and all the rest of it. And then I think we put it down twice in the first round, like just we kind of
Clubbing shots.
clubbing the top of the heat. And I was like, oh, but I went 5 rounds, and then after it, you're all ballooned back up because you've cut weight that
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
and you're all swollen and oh, aye.
Doing the Ricky Fatton.
Aye.
Aye.
Just-
Yeah,
that
up
was
and
just a
down.
fluid,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
just
it was
fluid.
fluid.
Aye, just putting all the
Even
water
the-
back
the
on.
quality of your lymph nodes and everything, I noticed that
everything
because I get
just-
put in the hospital with the cellulitis because I let it get infected like they do, and they drew a line round about my arm
And just to
then,
see if it
if it
spread.
tracked, but the antibiotics worked. But when I was like, oh my god, I feel like the Michelin Man, just all tight.
Just
and
all,
and
yeah.
your body's like, I'm holding on to every single bit of
Everything.
water.
Aye.
I can't now.
Do you feel as if doing lots of weight cutting over the years has affected your diet now? Or are you fine now, do you think?
Plus, I've got Addison's.
Oh, have
that
you?
thing? Aye, so I don't know if I've burnt out my kidneys.
Right. It's
Doing
potassium, isn't it?
I don't know, well, because your kidneys control cortisol,
Yep.
which controls your fluid balance.
Yep.
So if you're doing like daft weight cuts, I dare say it's no good for them.
Yeah.
Plus loads of caffeine and adrenaline stuff.
So, like Zach McCann's got that, hasn't he?
Zach's got it, but I don't know if, because then folk go, oh, the C-Jag, the COVID-Jag, oh, that's what gave you it. And I'm like, I
I don't know.
Even if it was, like, what would we do?
But it's better though because I was really bad. Like I couldn't bend down and squat down and pick up a cloth. Like my legs would be wrecked. And then I'm on hydrocortisone now and fixed. Jumping out again. Back on the folk.
I can vouch for that.
Back looking at it, 72 kilos.
Because then I've got an old medical book from when I was at college, and I was flicking through and looking at it, and it's like the Addison's thing. Folk don't know it until 90% of your adrenal complex is destroyed. So that is a very long term. So I could have had it since 2015 and 16, and then you just
don't know.
You don't know because you get all tanned because everybody kept saying, "Do you go to sunbeds?" Remember? And I was like pure.
Did you though?
No.
That's how you didn't know because you're like,
That's just my colour, but then they're like, no, it's a side effect of Addison's. That was for like 2017.
It's not the worst side effect.
No, it looked healthy.
I'm into it.
Oh my god. I was alright in the gym, but Michelle wasn't happy with me at home. But fixed now.
There you go, mate. Back to normal.
Back to hyper.
Back to eating properly.
I'm on the trainer Gabe diet now because I'm like, it makes it easier to pad hold
I
if
know,
you like get a bit bigger like that.
Yeah.
You need it because people
He
hit
says
so
that
hard.
he was 1 6-pack for one fight and ended up with broken ribs. That's
Yeah,
what he
it's
says.
like
He's
that.
saying,
never
You
again.
need to be a bit
Currently
puffy.
carrying broken ribs.
Or injured.
Courtesy of Nico.
Nico Carillo, just in case you don't know him. What Nico we're talking about.
Yeah, that was nice.
Him and
How did you
Stevie
do that?
battering you.
Pads.
Pads, knee.
Big knee right through. To be fair, they were damaged a couple of weeks before that in sparring as well, and then just continued like ignoring it.
And he punched you in the eyeball as well, didn't he?
In the eyeball, it was a good day.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good pad Nico and Stevie.
It's a fantastic.
Hard work.
It was like purely on my days off, and then I have to just go sit in a dark room for an hour.
Stevie was big in your faction. We're speaking to him.
Stevie's a lot of time for Stevie, and he's Stevie's good. Both of them, they're just like they're so well disciplined considering they're coaches on the other side of the world. Do you know what I mean? They're so like in tune with what they're doing.
It's like standing on the shoulders of giants, though, because like when we're young, it's just like your knowledge, for the people you're training with, and then whereas now with the internet, and all the Scottish coaches, all the UK coaches, everybody's get advice and tips, and everything. So you're like, Damien Trainer put stuff on Instagram all the time. Greg Wood, this is all.
I want that.
Everybody could steal it from even
so right.
Even the nutrition, like what we were saying earlier on, like back in the day, you just. I think we were saying it was like the old bodybuilding.
Look at what they did. Bodybuilding stuff it was. That's where I got my advice was the bodybuilding people cutting for like comps and stuff, wasn't it? And then
they weren't having to go in and fight.
Exactly, all they had to do is stand there. Exactly.
That's even really hard because they're that dehydrated.
And we were having to try and get in a boxing ring. I know it.
I remember meeting a guy at the sauna actually, and I was cutting weight, and I was in the sauna, and the guy came in and he was like, what are you doing? Because of my scales obviously sitting inside. And I says, I'm cutting weight, I've got to fight tomorrow. He goes, glass of red wine, dehydrate you now.
I remember I was fighting in Wolverhampton, we were in the sauna, and obviously Guy and myself were completely fed in water to just in our swimming wear, and I was in with hoodie, trackies, a lot, and zipped up, bad mood, and sitting in the corner, and some other random just came in, member, whatever gym we were in, was like, so when's he fighting? She's like, I got him! It was a good time.
Oh no, I think he was trying to tell me to have a drink of water as well.
Lucozade or something.
Actually, it happened to the guy that Brian from our gym was supposed to be fighting on Pure Scotland, and I think his opponent was cutting weight at Armando's brother, I think it is, on Florio, and he was cutting weight at a public sauna or whatever, and the staff ended up like apparently feeding him and like water and all that, and then he ended up not getting to fight, because he didn't make his cousin. He didn't get to, ended up not getting to fight because
Nico and awesome like
Nico.
Don't know. That's right.
And same last name, haven't they? So that's why I presumed it was his brother. But he ended up not getting to fight because he listened to the advice of just have a drink and stuff, and then couldn't make the weight again.
Someone at that stage in their career.
That's your first fight. It's
so,
an experience.
I think it's just they'll learn. Yeah. I know I always say now to people, especially first fights, you don't want your entire focus to be on making weight, because then you forget that you've actually got a fight to
I know.
focus on as
I
well.
know.
So I think especially when it's first fights, you should try and stay like
I
reasonably
remember
close.
my
I
first
don't
few
go
fights
too-
were made in on
too-
the day.
See,
Back in 1990.
I liked on the day weigh-ins. I think
I was
it's the
hungry.
best. Yeah, you were hungry, but you weren't cutting massive amount
No,
of water.
I had half a pancake and stuff like that.
I don't know
I
if
think I've only done it once or maybe twice.
if there is like a solution to the weight cutting because it's
I know,
such
because
a
then the dangerous folk cut weight on the day.
Yeah, and
So,
exactly,
you don't have
is
time
that
to
worse?
replenish.
And then
Yeah.
it seems like the whole hydration thing from one can
Yeah.
just get worked around as well, and doesn't seem to
Actually,
really
they
help
don't like
either.
that,
Or so
Yeah.
people
When they
generally.
weigh their pee or something.
I know I
No,
did some.
they-
The hydration one, I think they
The
test it for
hydration-
how. Is it
Yeah,
how much?
It's something to do with your proteins.
Aye, is it?
That's exactly
See?
what it is.
But apparently there's ways around
But
that
there
as
is,
well.
there's a knack to it as well.
Aye.
There's that, like, there is with everything.
I know.
I mean, that was a clear indication of Nico's last fight, wasn't it? It was like you could see just how much he celebrated after making weight.
Mhm.
Aye,
You know, and then
Yeah,
you're like,
okay, aye.
that's not the best of signs. You know,
Mhm.
when you're having to weigh in, you're already stark naked on behind a curtain,
I know,
and you're jumping for joy just making
trying to
weight.
make the weight, I know.
So-
It's a big jump though, isn't it?
It's a big jump
one.
for the weight
Is it not?
classes.
Is it
I think it goes from
4 or 5 kilo?
Aye, I think it goes from what he was. Is it the bantamweight? No.
145.
Bantamweight was 65.8 to the featherweight, the Tawanchai and Superbond.
They're about 70, aren't they?
Aye, it's a big jump. And then everyone else, if you're in between, you're fighting at the catch weights.
Catch weights.
Mhm.
But that's because of UFC weights.
Yeah,
Which is
And
MMA
that kind of
rates.
MMA rates. and
Why
that.
do they know? Why do you
Why
not
not just do
Thai weights?
Thai weights?
Oh,
or
more
just
weight
do-
categories.
Exactly.
Just put more weight categories in.
It's
That
not
makes
like
more
they're-
sense.
They're not lacking fighters.
No, exactly. Exactly.
And then they've got more champions.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you think of fighting MMA? Talking of
Me?
that, yeah.
I was good for a change. Yeah, I was fed up
Enjoy
at
it.
Thai boxing for a wee while because that was what I get beat. A couple of losses.
Did
Thai
you feel?
boxing score is rubbish. Even though I get stopped. I get just a good change, grappling, rolling about, getting
Our
squeezed.
son is he loves Thai boxing, but he also loves judo and jiu-jitsu, and I think he would like
I know, I just like all
to
the
do
martial arts.
MMA.
Like,
Go on to MMA.
Yeah, so it's just
Aye,
interesting
it's-
to hear how people find
What
fighting
did you
in
say?
it.
You say about 10?
He's
Did you
10,
say?
yeah,
Aye.
so he loves all of them though, but if you ask him which he likes best, he gets raging at you, like as if
Aye.
you're asking who his favourite child is or something,
Aye.
and so he loves all of them, but, so yeah,
no,
it's
Thai
just
boxing's still my
interesting.
favourite.
Yeah,
Aye.
and,
I like
and
it,
ours, yeah.
Aye. I still liked karate. Well, the wee boy, because there was no Thai boxing when we were
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
Karate.
Aye.
Then
So,
you watch
taekwondo.
kickboxing. Taekwondo, was it?
Mm. And your dad still
He
still
started with
coaches
that,
and still
coaches
yeah
taekwondo,
trains and
but, yeah, he started with the love of Bruce Lee with everyone.
Aye,
like
karate
everyone
kicks,
else
Bruce
did.
Lee.
Aye, yeah. Swinging
Nunchuckers.
nunchucks about.
Yeah.
Aye.
Kicking with my head. and
I
all
did a
that
forward
shit.
hold in the living room and broke my fire. That was like fire. Then I wasn't allowed to go to karate. So I
That was
stopped
it.
talking about it. I was saying,
I know, because there wasn't even really that many Muay Thai clubs at all, was
No.
there? Because I remember I was in America and someone said, I was saying, oh, I used to do gymnastics when I was younger, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm looking for a new sport now, I'm getting older, and like that I can still use strength and flexibility, and I was thinking, oh, I might try some martial arts, and it just happened that a guy that was in America said to me, oh, if you're going to do a martial art, you need to do Muay Thai or Muay Thai, I think he said.
Muay Thai, boy.
He's like, that's the only one, like that's the
Yeah.
best one, and that's one you had to do, and that kind of stuck with me. So when I got home, I was like trying to find these Muay Thai clubs, couldn't find
The
anything,
yellow pages.
and then like having to look up and
Ask your mum and dad.
looking up in phone books and stuff and phoning places, and then I just happened to be at hairdressers, and I said to them, and they're like, oh, I think there might be a class at the Kelvin Hall, and that's just kind of how it was. Duncan, Early James,
Duncan
and
James.
John Craig had
Aye.
both had clubs there, so it was
Aye.
kind of tried both of theirs,
Yeah.
and then so Guy used to train at John Craig's
John's,
there
aye.
as well, and then he started like the Strathclyde uni classes. So
I
when I
did,
went to
aye.
uni, I
Glasgow
started
Cali and
training
stuff.
at
So is that when you
Strathclyde.
started from, Ellie,
Yeah,
from
so
the uni
so I
and
went
then-
to like John's and Duncan's classes, but then when I started uni, I just kind of then stuck to Guy's class at Strathclyde Uni and Cali Uni, and at that time he was still kind of under like John
John.
Craig's banner, and so I would go and do like interclubs and stuff with Joe SMTC. So yeah,
Tiger Street or whatever.
yeah, Tigo Street, yeah. So yeah, it was just a kind of random person, you know.
Kelvin Hall was my first Thai boxing taste as well.
Was it?
Actually, my brother Raj, who trained with Mack Yoda at GTBA. He took me. The two of us went along to John Craig's. I was still like really enjoying Taekwondo at the time though, so like I enjoyed it, but I was like,
I don't want to punch the face. There's your gas in there.
I enjoyed this little bouncy tippy tappy noise. And then actually when I went to Cali Uni 2003 and it was Freshers Week, so like all the clubs and sports clubs and all that were doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Having lunch with a few of the boys in my course, and there was actually Hilary and Guy sparring outside of the Arc, and then I was watching. It's like, guys, we ain't try this. And then just like watching the two of them. Like, I think you might have been training for a fight at the time or something, but
just demos.
You just put the mats outside the sports union.
They were
and
just really sparring.
Hit each other up.
Crossfit Buchanan bus station.
I know, like idiots.
And then that's where I started. 2003 took my first fight down in Maryport. 2004.
And Tommy Collins, didn't
they? It was it Zoe Green and Mary Hart were all on the show, and there was a bunch of Dutch. It was funny because it was the Euro. I only remember it because it was Euro.
Who did you fight that time?
It was Euro 2004, but England had just been put out as well. So like done that afternoon, so it was already a bit of a dodgy audience already. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's still smoking inside.
I've done that before. My second fight was in Liverpool, and it was like a master skate show in a nightclub through the day, and you're walking out like, do I do this? And folk are just smoking with beer out of the flare. What the honestly, that's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That was mine on Sandy Holt's show as well. That was a big nightclub, and you beer everywhere, and
I can't remember. I thought that it was a Scottish lad. I thought. I can't remember.
Was it the guy from SMTC?
No, that was Stephen Darrick and Greenock.
A few of those guys fought up at Greenock.
I didn't even have shorts in my first Thai fight, or one of my first few Thai fights. Like I'd never even really been in a boxing ring. I borrowed guys' shorts, and like, what is this? And then I'd been used to uni clubs, so I was like, oh. Hi, went to touch gloves with the girl, and she went like right overhand, right over my head, and I spent like the whole fight like, what the fuck? This isn't what I've been practicing. And I saw her getting kicked in the head, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. Someone's brought a leg in to help me. I didn't even realise it's like my leg kicking her. They're like, oh, it's so surreal. I know. But she beat me in the clinch, but then after that was... So then I beat most people in my career then in the clinch after that, so it was a good... she taught me a good lesson,
No, my first fight I didn't have a clue.
No.
Head down. Even Alan told me you had to seal the ring, because everybody did the white back then. And I was like, what? He said, you hold on to the ring. And I was like, right. So I'm holding on to the top rope with both hands, and I sidestepped right with the ring. And then everybody was like, I think I did like my blue one, ritual dance or something. And I was like, and then everybody's like, oh, I love the way you sealed the ring. I was like, I honestly didn't know any of this. It was even a thing. I didn't have a clue. They don't do this in kickboxing.
No,
just
where's the rope and the glue?
Coming through that Taekwondo background, I remember saying to the guy, like, oh, how much do I owe you for my fight? And he's like,
is that right?
No, you don't pay me. And I was like, eventually you'll get paid. And I was like, what? No
this is amazing.
I know. I tried to tell the Taekwondo to sign up now. It's
60 quid there you go to go get insured.
we all, in fact, I think we've said this in the last podcast, that my first fight, I was just pure nerves. But I'd been coming to training and watching loads of fights and stuff like that. So I'd been in Sinali at a few fight shows at the Normandy Hotel. I think that was the first couple I came and seen. Right. And I played football, and I was like, nah, I fancy a shot at this. And I was nervous as anything, so I got up to the ring, and it was actually here in Kilmarnock, and it was against a boy from Kilmarnock, so loads of his pals were there, and because it's in the Grand Hall, the balcony bit, so they were up the top shouting, and they're all booing me as I'm coming in, and I could do it, my stomach was going, and he's like, you going over or under? And I had no idea what he meant, and I just went, aye. And I grabbed the ropes, so he's put them down, I tried to jump, and I just let go of them and just landed my face in the middle of it. And the ref come straight over and went, what? My opponent's taking the ring and I got an 8.
Oh, he's pals at the table. So you won?
Thankfully, that could have been embarrassing getting done in.
I know, because you didn't know all that stuff though, did you? Like I actually know specifically kind of practice that stuff now with some of the fighters before the first fight, like just
Justin
talk
does
about
it a lot of the way.
talk
Just
about
getting them getting in.
this is how. But I mean, a lot of them know, like you say, because you can see lots online now.
Yeah.
but just
And
to
there's more
kind
fight
of
shows.
The difference is amazing. You can just go on YouTube and see as many short fights as you want to see. And
we couldn't even look people up. Like I used to. Like by the time I got to England, the scales were a completely different weight.
Right.
I think I was weighing in at 55, and I'd go in down there and I'd weigh 52, but they would still weigh 55 or 70 or what, like any old weight. But now you can't really do that because people can search you and find out if at least that's quite good that you can search weight classes and stuff. And because we would end up going down to England, and you're not going to say no once you've travelled 3-4 hours to
Or
get
getting
there.
told somebody, this is their first fight or their second fight.
Oh yeah, and then you find
nowadays
out,
everybody's fights are on YouTube or Facebook or something.
They forget to mention the 300 boxing fights and the
Exactly.
fact they're a Golden Gloves champion. I had that exact scenario. Their American professional record was 4-1, but
New
I was
York,
like, oh, that's the same as me. And then
it's funny, like they don't talk about their amateur career. Like, their amateur career could be like 300.
And it is.
Exactly. And then
But
they're like, no, she's 3-1
as a pro.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm literally 3 fights. And that's ideal.
I know. And then for them, amateur doesn't even mean padded; it just means unpaid. So it's proper fights they're having it.
Fully fighting. But she was Golden Glove champion. Cat Diaz. It was Cat Diaz. Golden Glove champion. Forgot to mention this.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see her weigh in, and she was fucking
huge
as well, and that was at 60 kilos. And
but what are you going to do?
Was that in America?
In America, in New York. It was in a really cool, like old financial building.
It was Louis Neglia's show. Louis Neglia kind of runs the corners with Matt Serra and stuff.
All right.
It was his show. Used to run Combat in the Capitale.
That's right. And then Phil Nurse jumped in and helped us in the corner, and you
got me a fight on that.
Do you know what was weird about that show? You know how when you go out to fights and you're the away fighter, like you expect booze and stuff, and you kind of use that stuff to sort of fuel you. Somehow, and I don't know how, because it was massive and really busy, they'd somehow organised the whole crowd to just not say a word. They didn't put on any ring entry music or anything, and I walked out. Could have heard a pin drop. Like it's the weirdest experience. Like just walked out to the ring, no one booed, no one cheered, no one, like there was just not a sound, no entry music, no.
That must have been odd.
Fuck yeah, that was really weird. But then like I was doing okay against her in the clinch, and then they just stopped allowing the clinch. So they kind of like. She was going to beat me anyway because she was massive, but they definitely
fixed the rules a wee bit
in her favour. Like, oh wait, she's doing all right there. But it was good experience.
Are you enjoying refereeing?
Oh, loving it actually. Yeah.
Do you ever do that? Change the rules.
There's times that you're watching the fight and you get right into it and you're like, oh no, actually,
I remember you said
it's like that. There's that American ref, the boxing ref, and he gets right into the fight. You see his eyes are popping out his head and all that.
Get the best seats. No, you're not sitting, but get the best view in the house.
Well, you could see that on the female fight on One Championship. What's the name of the ref, the English guy Ricky Sewell? He was reffing that. You could see him getting like quite into that fight. Like he was like watching.
He's really good to watch actually, to pick up like good refereeing technique and stuff.
Do you find yourself doing that?
I do. Steve Nico specifically says like watch Ricky Sewell, and it's like where he positions himself between the fighters and stuff like that, and where he's always finding himself ready to chuck a leg in.
You gonna ref?
I don't know. I'm obviously just starting off with the judging. I'm enjoying that.
I think I'd like refereeing better than judging.
I think so. I think
refereeing interclubs and stuff.
I get involved, get in the mix.
But then see because I've ref lots of interclubs, but then I've done a few fights, and then sometimes because I've done so many interclubs, I forget that I need to get like in or
you're going to hurt.
Be nice.
No, the judging's been a good. I'm enjoying that. And I think you find like I've always been quite weird that way, where I'll sit and even if I'm at a fight show, I'm sitting trying to score and like watch for stuff. So I've always been quite interested in that kind of side of it. So now doing it, I'm starting to really enjoy it. Aye.
That was the first one we did together down Victory.
That's right, aye. Victory. Good show.
Unanimous as well.
Good results. Well, listen. That just speaks volumes for the quality of the judges.
I think they'll win.
I think though the laminated score sheet for Neil Ross really helped him.
That was funny.
That was so funny.
There was like a laminated score sheet just to remind you, a wee reminder of what scores and how to. And he was getting the ring announcer to pass him over to Neil. I was winding him up.
What to be fair, what are these? I don't need these.
Steve was like, just put them on each of the desks. I was like, right, fine, put them down. And he was like, what the fuck is this?
We're meant to whiteboard scores.
I was like, oh, you only gave me one to give to you. He was like, oh, you did what?
It was good.
He was passing me it back and all, like throwing it back to me. And I was like, to the MC, he was like, going to pass it to that other room. I was like, I no problem.
He was raging.
He was raging. Good times.
So the other big show I've got coming up, we spoke about obviously Pure Muay Thai. I've got Omar fighting on it.
Omar's fighting on it, aye.
And he's fighting against Gregor Tom for
Gregor
Aberdeen
Tom.
Combat Centre. Good
fight.
fight.
Big
4 ounce gloves.
4 ounce
4 ounce gloves.
But still 5-3s, still
Still
full tie rules, yeah.
Full tie rules, little gloves. It's an interesting fight, that.
Just don't get hurt in the next 2 weeks.
Aye.
Well,
of course. Same goes for everyone. Same goes for them all.
and then Misho's obviously like, and then just don't get hurt in the fight either because he's got Oran More after as well.
That's a big gloves.
Okay, I'll be fine. It'll be a good fight.
It's an interesting one, especially because Gregor's got a lot of experience overall. Omar's fought A-class for a year, didn't he?
But he's good.
His shot,
strong.
right up there with
Because he took Craig Marshall in 3 days.
3 or 4 days.
And he wasn't even training then. Like he was down south being fed by Mama and not really even. He wasn't even in a Thai gym for like weeks and weeks before that. And so he'd literally just got back a few days before that, and he thought, "Oh fuck it, I'll just do it." He was going to try and help out.
Did that replace Gregor Tom? Did it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think he was supposed to be fighting Gregor Tom.
Craig was meant to fight.
Yeah, Omar just thought, "Fuck it, jump in," and he decided it would be a learning curve either way. Yeah, so he's up for it and trains hard and listens and learns quickly.
It'll be an interesting one. My money's on Omar, but
well, that's good. Can you imagine you sat in a podcast saying your money was on Gregor?
I know.
My money's on a good fight. It's lucky for you guys. Like, yeah.
There's a lot of good ones on Pure though. Like, who's James fighting? James Mackenzie's fighting.
James Mackenzie is fighting Kieran Flannelly.
That's
from
Ireland.
Forget.
He's good, man.
Ayr Muay Thai. We Clive.
Kieran
Flannelly. Stevie just sends me names. He's peace, man.
Kieran's good. I've seen him fight.
Kieran, because he was maybe in an 8-man tournament like that, when Tom Keogh and that, they were all in an 8-man at the end of January. So was Shazard, Pontius, St. Davy, Kieran. So I think it was like the best of Ireland.
That was one Boston one he done.
It was meant to be 8 Irish guys, and then it turned into 1 Irish guy, 2 Scottish guys, and a Spanish guy. So I think Flynn had a great
Blair
fight on it. Blair Henderson ended up pulling it as well. Some of the storm, I don't know if it was a storm thing.
Couldn't get over.
Sun hammed with that. So then it was some other guy that stepped in lap size. So good old tournaments. But Tom won.
Did he?
Convincingly.
Who else have you got on? Anyone else still to announce, or is it all announced?
No, I think we're all announced. So, I don't know, a few fights, like 27 or something.
I know.
Including juniors.
This is what keeps happening with Oran More as well. Like more and more people are like, "Oh, can you match us? Can you?"
So the folk are still requesting matches.
I'm going to have to cap it soon.
Because you know me and Paul, man, we're just like, get them on.
I know. Well, you want to get on as many people as you can, but
we're going to have to do a Pure Muay Thai weekender. He was joking about. He's like, "I'll do a 2-dayer." Is that right?
You could do it.
A 2-day show.
I know. Well, they do that down south quite a lot with shows, don't they? And they have the kind of Liam Harrison's lot do that, or used to do that lot, where they would have like or Brian, didn't Brian do that as
Kind
well?
41, 42 or
Yeah,
something.
and
They
they have
did
like
it, but they did it on the same
At
day.
the same
Or
day,
same
so
day?
you have 2 shows on the
Yeah.
same day.
some of them do
think
it over
you're
the
getting-
weekend
you
as
think
well.
You're getting, like, value for money, but I see after like 42 fights or whatever,
It's
you're
a
like,
long night.
main events are just starting.
Aye.
I'll chuck it because I don't do juniors then C
Aye.
class then I just go
Mix it all up.
probably
Mix
an
it
A
up.
class within the first 5 or 6
Aye,
fights
that's sweet.
and then
I quite
a
like
couple
that.
of juniors
Like,
and then class
yeah,
and another poof.
I quite like that.
I've not typed up my lineup yet so I'll
Yeah.
just sit in the house and go have a few beers. That's it.
Get it done.
It looks like you're on your type.
I know. I had 2 fingers. I
I know.
an old school typewriter.
It's better. I think that's better for the fighters as well.
Aye.
Do you know what? I'm like mixing it up so that you know it's not just all going to be like.
Well, Chris was
right,
loving it because he was in the middle.
Well, exactly, aye, and then he could get blazing.
I know, so I might put like Rona at the start of like the kind of A class ones or midway through, so that she gets a chance to not
enjoy
always
it.
be last.
I was always last in the set.
Yeah.
Every day coming back in body bags and that.
You're just-
Legs there. He's a goal man. What am I doing? Because the changing room at the start, his legs heaving.
And
Yeah.
then it gets quiet.
Then at the end, it's
quieter,
like me.
it's just you.
Aye, I know.
You've
That's
got
everybody.
you've
I
got
know.
loads of room though at the racecourse, but
Aye,
at
that's
Oran
brilliant.
More's got
That
no
one
room
balcony.
at all. There's not much
I
room.
went up
But
there by mistake when I was drunk.
you're taking up all the space.
We did it the stairs, the toilet, and then I'm upstairs. I'm like,
Yeah, where am I?
keeps slamming up. I'm like, right back downstairs.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space up there. That's
Standing
another
room,
reason for us to watch the
At least I got a chair
the
this time
matching.
to commentate.
Yes, yeah, I know.
And that'll
There's
be
not.
guys, yourself and Stevie Irvine.
Oh, I seen that because Brian sent me the graphics at Davis,
Yes.
and then I seen commentator Ali Smith and Stevie Irvine.
Brian and Davey are doing a good job with Scottish Fight Nights.
Aye,
They
it's
seem to
brilliant,
be
isn't
They're doing
like they're up in their game all the time,
Aye.
and I think they've got, is it an ice hockey guy that they're learning from as well, because
Aye,
he
for
does
graphics
loads of
and
live
stuff.
events and
Yeah.
things, and so he's been kind of helping out as well. And I think like Davey's dad used to or does still is kind of project management type job, so he's very good at organising everything. So he's we've got.
It's going to have to be now, Davies in Thailand.
Well,
That's right, aye. Is he away for about a year, he said?
At least
Yeah.
he wants
Aye.
to do, like, he's living out in Phuket in Ayr, and he's tuning it. Is he, well, I don't know if he is at Simby.
No, he's at
He's at somewhere else.
where's the place where Tyler Hogan was training as well?
Oh,
I tried to
Phuket Powerhouse or something like that.
Powerhouse, yeah.
He's on with Craig Marshall.
Oh,
He's
that'd be a
good.
great
He's a
one,
good
actually.
good fighter.
That'd be a
But then Craig's getting smaller and smaller now, isn't he? Now
I know,
that he's
I
not.
went-
aye.
He was telling me anywhere 61, 63 and a half, but now I think he's like,
I was liking his
because he's not
banter.
blowing up.
I was liking his banter on the Oran More
Yeah.
Instagram as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
funny.
I
He
know.
did tag me in it.
But it was, yeah, I saw it.
Come on.
It made me laugh because
The
what was it about
comments,
the teeth? The thing that
Oh,
Jamie said about
Jamie's come back.
it was quite funny.
Like, Craig getting the ball rolling with just the comment, gay.
know.
That was
Just
amazing.
rounded him up.
And then what did-
Jamie's come back with something like, no, is bent as your falser's son.
Aye,
And
aye.
the fact that he called him son was just so funny to me.
Just winded him right up.
But yeah.
But the banter between the two, that was brilliant, actually. And they tagging you, like,
I
let's
know.
go.
Let's
Dana.
go.
Mr. Promoter, but Mr. Promoter over there is like, oh yeah, I'll set it up. I know.
How did I get another 10 bags of money?
Get them on.
That's safe that I don't have.
But then Craig had been offered to be on the fight in the first place, and he's like, no, I don't do tournaments.
No, he's too good for two.
He didn't want to be tied in or something, he said.
Aye.
Because that's
Aye.
your show. Then
Yes, because
September,
then
so he didn't know.
aye.
But even before he knew that, he didn't. He said he just doesn't like the tournament format, which is fair enough.
Oh,
Like it's
yeah,
not for
it's
everybody.
everything.
Like,
No, exactly.
I didn't know what I was getting into when I done it.
No.
No.
yeah.
But
I mean-
that's a slightly different format, obviously, because
Yeah,
you've got
'cause
the
it's-
two,
Aye, you've
you've
yeah,
got two
it's
shows.
yeah, it would have
It's
just
just
been
a fight.
The tournament's on the night.
Aye, on the night.
Yeah.
Just the two, but just two fights
Again,
rather than
just-
three at least. And yeah, I know it is. It's different, but it gets you lots of
Gets
of
you
fights.
fighting.
Definitely.
That's
Means
what
you
you're
don't have
looking
to
for.
go into someone's Instagram and start like
I winded them up to
winding
get a
people
fight.
up to try and get your fights that way.
good though, it's
No,
good
it's
though,
good. I
it's-
liked it.
Yeah.
It's funny. It makes me laugh. And then Corey and
Corey
Mack
Mark.
are
Oh, he's fighting
so
Mark,
they're
that's right,
they're
aye.
um, they're fighting
class.
at that weight now that Corey's realised he can't make 57.
It's huge.
Aye, that's
He's grown
massive,
up.
isn't it?
Yeah, so they're they're
interesting.
the same weight as well. So it's
Both tall.
Both tall, both skinny, both
like
technical.
junior experience, both as well. And
that's a good fight.
yeah.
Like, his Mark was laughing, he's like, Corey Barton, when we were juniors or something, that's not me.
Yeah, I don't. It's
Aye,
totally
'cause
different.
it's
though,
the
isn't
same,
it?
it's the,
Totally
they always say
different.
that about Corey beat, or did he beat him, Stevie Irvine?
Did
They
he?
fought when they were young as well,
Actually,
but he also said he's already fought him, and I'm like, they're not the same.
Boys fighting and men
No
fighting.
headshots. No headshots, just a kick competition.
Aye, it's totally different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Completely
But
different.
it's like you, who do you always claim fame for the boxing? Scott
Claim
Quigg.
fame? Oh yeah, I was Scott Quigg's last before he made the jump.
Is that right?
He made Scott Quigg
fought
quit
for-
Thai boxing and
Oh,
take
did he?
up boxing.
He fought with Darren Phillips.
I remember seeing him getting interviewed about it because I think Ricky Hatton did Thai boxing like when he was wee.
Oh, did
I'm
he?
sure he
Yeah.
did. I remember watching a kind of documentary thing, and I'm sure Ricky Hatton was either kickboxing or I think Thai boxing, but then Scott Quigg might have trained with Ricky Hatton for a wee bit.
I think he might have.
I don't know if they trained in the same gym. But he said that he was like a kind of Thai boxer before he went into boxing. Aye. So did you fight him?
That was
Aye?
good times. We were down there for Tommy got paid petrol money and I got 50 quid. And then he settled out the NEN against Carol Frampton.
I know. He was a good boxer, very good boxer.
Very tidy.
Aye, brilliant.
Yeah, you did. You beat him.
Shall we wrap this up?
We'll call it quits at that.
Yeah, man.
Thanks to you.
Guys, thanks very much for
Thank
coming
Thank
on.
you for having us.
Hilary and Mack,
Chuck it.
Dip Sekhon.
Is that your nickname, Chuck?
Chucking it 18 on Instagram.
Chuck that on
Sweet
Instagram.
side,
Yes, and we'll see you
Pure Muay Thai, refereeing and beat
Pure Muay
supervisors.
Thai and then Oran More.
Yep.
Brilliant. Big year.
Big year for Scottish Muay Thai.
Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.